Hey everybody, welcome to the CCAPS Meet the Chef. Thanks for joining in. I don't know, hey, just so you know, this is groundbreaking. This is my first live stream ever. So I've never done a live stream. I've done interviews. I've been on, hey everybody, hey cool, I can see people waving. I mean, I've watched everybody's live stream, but I've never done my own. So, hey, so welcome. It's really kind of cool I get to do this. Hey everybody, my God, hey, shout outs to all y'all. I can't see that far. I've tried to get my iPad to kind of show me things more closer, but you know, technology, I'm really not savvy right now. But my name is Jay Perry. I'm Chef Jay Perry. You guys kind of saw my bio. I was going to try and do like an icebreaker. Just like you know, I'm not cooking today, okay? There's so many. I'm going on an Instagram diet because everybody, since this COVID everybody's cooking now. There's so much food everywhere on Instagram. So I kind of wanted to steer away from it. But I wanted to do an icebreaker and I couldn't figure out a magic trick. But anyways, I bought this thing. It's really kind of cool. It's supposed to be like a lapel mic or something like that so that you can hear better. But the one little catch, I was so excited because I wanted to use it for this thing and for today, and it only works with the app, and I can only be on the app to make this work, and I can't be on Instagram. But there's some really cool things. It's a really cool mic, and it's a Bluetooth mic, so it's called this right here. I don't know if you guys can see it backwards or what, but anyway, so if you want to get that, that's really kind of a cool mic if you decide you want to do some vlogging and stuff like that. Sound comes in a lot better. Anyway, we're going to have about like 55 minutes today to kind of get to you, I'll give you an intro, a little bit about my background, and then we're going to go today. Today I want to talk about leadership. It's very key in your career. I've been, in my intro, I've been cooking for a long time. I started culinary. I wanted to be a chef back in the days of Wolfgang Puck was just starting to come on the scene. All these chefs were just kind of like that you see now that are really big. They were all young. And so that's when I decided I wanted to be a chef. So I've been cooking for a long, like 30 years. You saw like a little bit of my bio in the Instagram page. But yeah, I've been a hotel chef. I've worked in restaurants. I studied in Italy. I love Italian cuisine. So I went to move out there for a while. Hung around France. I wanted to learn if I wanted to learn Italian food, the best place to go learn Italian food is go live in Italy. If you want to learn French food, go live in France. Study the language, the culture, because it's not just about cooking from a book. You want to dive into the culture and understand, why French cook the way they do, why Italians cook the way they do. So that's what I did. I've been doing a lot. I've been a private chef. Great career to do. Once you get in there. I've been corporate. I've worked for Nordstrom. I've worked for spas, hotels, a lot of restaurants. I started to make my rise to my claim of working in Italian restaurants for a lot of people. I really knew what I wanted to be, and so a lot of fun things along your career as a chef you can do. I got to be on TV. I was on a show called The Talk as a guest chef. Talked about vegan food. What else did I do? So right now, currently, I had a poke place. I've owned it for a year. And 2 weeks before the COVID thing hit, I realized I wanted to sell it. I wanted to get out because the location, everything just wasn't suiting for me and my partner. So, hey everybody. So we got out 2 weeks and we sold it and got out 2 weeks before all the restaurants and all that started shutting down. So I was so grateful. I think I was blessed by that. And so now, because of that, I have been working on two really big projects. One, for the past several years, I've developed salad dressings. They're vegan and gluten-free. And in the process, I've met one of the largest food companies. I'm about ready to do a deal with them. They're going to produce my salad dressings with hopefully my own brand name. They want to produce these chef-inspired dressings. They love my product. It's great. I think they're great. Hopefully one day maybe y'all get to taste them. And then in doing food, I developed a TV show. And on my bio, you'll see that he's working on a TV project. Well, it's really kind of cool. It's all about food, and it's about discovery and ideation and about who has the next food product for the consumer, for the retail market. So we're like this close and to get a network to buy it. And so because of the COVID thing, things have kind of slowed down. Everything's kind of slowed down a little bit, and things are kind of navigating differently. So that's pretty much my background. I love food. I love cooking it. I love engaging with people, which is great as a chef. But the thing is, those things, you know, having an idea of where you want to go in your career and working up to leadership are very important. And that's why, you know, where I got to where I was at is because of, you know, working through and navigating my career, wanted to be part of a leadership team and growing and developing. And so this is what I'm going to share today a little bit. And you'll see me looking down over this way, and I'm looking at my iPad, looking at my notes. And I'm trying to keep the time kind of reasonable because I can talk long. I always was told, hey, you talk a lot. I love talking. Why I got involved with CCAPS? Well, I moved out here from Oregon because I was a chef at Oregon State for 10 years for their giant food program. Great being on campus as a chef. If you ever want a career path, go work on campuses. Become part of the culinary team. Great opportunities for career growth and advancement. Great benefits too, and they're great. I mean, universities are paving the way for the direction of food and flavor and sustainability and all that. So anyway, I met a buddy of mine out here, and I've always helped kids at the university. I like to teach and mentor. And he told me about this organization called CCAPS. And this was about a year ago. And he told me about a lady named Jill Smith. And I went and met her, and I finally got to meet her at a couple events. I went to the Harvest Moon last year. And then I went to the Nirvana and met her and told her I was very interested in CCAPS. I loved what it was doing, and I just wanted to get involved because it's about mentorship and it's about really kind of giving back. So I'm in this phase of my life right now as a chef where I've learned a lot. Now I want to give it back. And so that's why I got involved with CCAPS. And so I did Harvest Moon just this last year, 2019 it was. And that was great. I got to work with the school, the teachers, the students. Man, we did some great food. And it was just so great for me and inspiring for me to see how many kids are motivated to want to be chefs. I mean, we broke down whole ducks, and we made duck ragu, and we made sauces, and we made gnocchi. I mean, they've never made gnocchi. They couldn't even pronounce it. But we did such a good job, and it was so great to see the smiles on all these students in CCAPS. And so it just give me more of a drive to want to be part of CCAPS. And I love the direction, and I love what CCAPS is all about. So I wanted to connect and anchor myself with CCAPS because of what they want to do. So anyway, that's my involvement with them, and here I am today. I kind of want to talk about right now where we're at in our society, where things are at, because as you all know, I mean, you can understand what's going on in the culinary world, in the restaurants. You see a lot of things kind of happening and changing and evolving. The circumstances that we're in, I mean, now we're going from a virus to now all these riots, and there's just a lot of tension going on in our world right now. And there's been a lot of pressure, and there was just a lot of change that happened within the restaurant community and the hospitality industry. So there's a lot of kind of like, and you're probably all wondering, guys, where's everything going? What's happening? You know, I don't know if you're in careers already, but what does this mean for me? Maybe you got laid off. Maybe you're trying to figure things out. Just stay hopeful. We're in a new world. It looks like we're in a new kind of normal. I don't think it's going to go away. I just think that, you know, and one of the things we're going to talk about leadership is about change, and how do you navigate, and how do you change and evolve through certain situations that are happening, and within work or just within the climate of what's going on globally. So it's really kind of a sensitive state we're in right now. But you still don't be afraid. Don't be worried. Still focus on what you want to do. And so it's just very important, and really kind of, get to people, talk to them, learn a lot, understand what's going on, because it'll really help you where you want to be in the direction you want to go, and just be sensitive to where things are at. But don't worry. We're going to get through it. We usually always do, but it's just right now, it's evolving right now, and things are changing. It seems like so dramatically fast. So What we want to talk about, the first thing I want to start off in who you are. Okay, so this is kind of important. You need to establish what you believe in yourself, who you are, okay? And then you need to have a plan, like as a chef or somebody in the culinary world. Just really kind of get an understanding of who you are inside. The kind of person you are, the kind of person you want to be, the kind of culinary direction you want to go. Establish that within your own heart yourself. I mean, you think here, but it needs to go about 14 inches down, oops, wrong side, into your heart. And you really kind of need to understand where you want to go in your career. Okay, so you need to have a plan. And it's really good because nobody really kind of told me this. I just had to figure it out. But you really need to kind of just, identify who you want to be, what you believe in about yourself, and then have a plan. And then when you do have a plan about where you want to go in your career and what you want to do, because being a chef, being in culinary, I mean, you can go into food photography, you can go to be a private chef, you can go into catering, you can go to write about food, you can go be a vlogger or whatever. And Instagram, it seems like everybody now is talking about food, and they're making careers out of posting pictures of food. So there's a lot of things that you can do with your career in culinary. Maybe you want to be an educator. So really kind of have a chart where you want to go and have a plan. And then when you do that, my biggest thing to do is like when you are working somewhere, connect with somebody in your job, in your place where you're at, that's kind of like your manager or your chef, whoever, and talk to them about your plan. It's very important that they know your plan because they can help you with that plan because they're going to be your guide. And so as a chef, at the university, I had 65 people under, or 45, 50 maybe, people working under me, 350 students. So we had a lot of a lot of cooks on our team. And I would always tell them, hey, what's your plan? I want to get to know them and understand what their plan, because I want to help them navigate their plan. Maybe they work for me for 2 years and then I direct them somewhere else. But you need to connect with somebody at your place where you're at and really talking about your plan, because what you're telling them is that you are taking ownership of where you want to be and you want to be accountable to them, and then they will help guide you. And that's a really good thing to do, because it's like taking a. Are we there? Okay, we're still live. Anyway, so I think I may need, my power is short. So hold on. They're saying I'm a little embarrassed. Okay, so we're gonna go here. Hold on, give you a break. See, it's my first. See, I'm not an expert on this because I forgot to charge up my phone. Sorry. All right, there we are. Let me get my stuff. Here we go. Move it over here, over there. All right, see? All right, that's called live action camera work. Anyway, so with you're accountable to it, it's really, really good for you. So do that. Are we still there? I want to make sure we're still live. Can I get a couple waves to make sure we're still here? Because I want to make sure I did everything right here and that we're still good. Hopefully we're still here. So if somebody can send a message, that would be great. So, oh, cool. All right, great. Thanks so much there, glossy heifer. So you want to have a plan. Okay, so once you do that, then now, once you're in that place, you need to kind of understand what, now we're going to talk about leadership, your career, your environment that you're in, your work ethic. We're going to talk about all that because, in order to, you want to make sure that you are in a place where you're growing and you have a good career path. So it's very, very essential for you. Okay, so here's some things we're going to talk about. So I'm going to put up some words on a piece of paper, and hopefully it reads right because I don't know. This is all new to me. When you do this, you need to understand the most important thing about your career and about what you do. And it's this word right here. We are in the service industry. Okay, we're in the service industry. So the word here, I don't know if it's going backwards. I really don't know. It's service. Okay, servant is what you need to be. Is what we are. We're servants. We're you know. I mean, that's the greatest leader is the servant of all. Bottom line. That is the word. You know, since we're in the service industry, whether it be hotel, restaurants, whatever it is, catering, whatever you're in, and whatever you're going to be, it's in the service industry. Okay, so in that is you are a servant. So there's a good saying that I live by, and it means, and it's like, to be the greatest leader, you have to be the servant of all. Okay, serving everybody else. It isn't, you're not serving yourself, but you're serving the people who are around you. And that's the kind of frame of mind you need to have, and the heart that you need to have. So that's very, very important. Servant, okay? So then what we want to talk about too is, you know, you need to establish, like when you build a house or a building, you need to have a great foundation before you start to build up. So in your work and in your life, you need to have a solid foundation, first and foremost, because your foundation is everything. The walls can fall, the windows can break, the doors can fall, break, whatever like that. But your foundation has to be solid. So what I mean by foundation for yourself is it's, you know, these are some simple words. Oh, and I'm going to talk to you about, I'm going to kind of put some quotes in from 3 books that I like to read, and I always go back to because they're really good. And so I'll point them out to you, and you can go get them. They're short reads, but essential, and that's going to be part of your skills. So you need to have, like, your foundation is like your core values. The core values for who you are and your relationship to others. It's very, very important. And so when I say like your core values, you know, towards yourself, like I said, you need to believe in yourself. We talked about really identify who you are and who you want to be. And so those are the values that you set, you have to lay out, like, what is it going to take to make you that person? What are some things that really kind of inspire you? Hey, welcome new people over there, CCAP. CCAP join. So the most important thing is, so your foundation is towards your others. So one of the words right here, another word right here is respect. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know how you're reading it, but respect. Now, the important thing is when I'm somewhere else and I'm showing people how to be chefs, I always train them to be chefs because they're cooks, but I'm training them to be chefs because that's where they want to be. So when I tell them respect, I mean, you have to have respect for yourself. You have to have respect for others, but you also need to have respect for your environment. You need to have respect for food. You need to have respect for your job. You need to have respect for everything that you're doing, meaning like even the products you touch. You need to have respect for the fish. You need to understand you have this respect for the meat, the cattle, the animals that you are able to kind of get your hands on. Your respect for your cleanliness, your environment. You don't want to be a messy chef. You want to always be clean and organized. You always want to have respect for other people. So those are really key things. So that's one of your core foundations you should have. Okay, the other thing that you need to be is you need to be a work ethic. You have to be a hard worker. And you can't just be a hard worker in your life, because if you're just a hard worker, you're always going to be the one that just, the hard worker, but you're not, that's not a foundation. That's just one of your core values, part of your foundation. Oh, and something else I wanted to kind of talk about this, and I'll mention really quick. This is what a leader says compared to what a leader doesn't say. A leader says that I get to go to work. Somebody who's not a leader, is not really caring about that, says I have to go to work. And then you can see how that all can play out. Like, if I get to go to work means I get to go be part of a team. I get to go help my chef. I get to put my hands on food. I get to make people happy instead of I have to go to work. I have to work with other people, or I have to listen to my chef, or I have to do this work. I have to wash dishes. It's I get to. That's the kind of mentality you need to have. So as a leader, you just need to think that way, because that's what people notice, that you're that kind of person that you get to do those things because you're excited. And that's the other thing about the other foundation is enthusiasm, excitement, your mood. People are gravitated towards enthusiastic people, which I would probably couple the word passionate. Those two words are great to have. Enthusiastic and passionate are really, really good words to have. and part of your foundation. The other thing that I would think, and there's others, but these are the ones I'm listing for you, is caring. You need to care. It's so important in where you are. You need to care about the people around you. You need to care about those who are above you, your authorities. You need to care about those things. Caring is a huge thing. I drive to In-N-Out because my kids love In-N-Out. But every time I go to a different In-N-Out, I ask them the one question, because when I go to In-N-Out, people are always so happy. These kids are happy. They're smiling all the time. And I ask them, what's the biggest thing? Why do you work here? What is the number one thing of why you work here and why you're so happy? There always is the same answer, because they care. In-N-Out, my boss cares. The owners or the management, they care about me. And they're always so happy. I've never seen anybody In-N-Out that doesn't smile. And, and they, and gosh, an In-N-Out manager makes about $150K. So, they're probably working towards that. But caring is a huge thing. You got to care about the people around you. You got to stop, meaning caring means, it's like in the word cooperation as well. You listen to other people. You're not always the one talking. You're not always the one that's about yourself, but you're really kind of have to care. It's very important, because when people look at you, they want to at least say that you care. A good leader is somebody, when the people that work below you, the ones who are you supervising over, they come to you because they know you. Ooh, I'm getting poor connection. I'm so sorry. So they're a great chef, but they need to know that you care. So leaders always care. So in your work environment, as you're navigating your way up and through your career path, caring is part of your foundation. You need to have that. So it's very, very solid. So so that's part of your foundation, which I'm trying to kind of, establish what your foundation wants to be, because that's solid. That is like who you are when everything else falls apart. Your foundation, all right? That's the things that you build your career off of. Okay, so it's very, very important. So here's the word caring. So caring is very, very, very big word. Now, one of the other things, this is the one thing I kind of want to talk about too, one word. And I get this word because of this book right here. I highly suggest you guys get this. It seems like it's a child's book, but it's not. It's very deep. It's a top-selling book. It's a #1 selling book. Look how thin it is. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? And I'll kind of explain to you a little bit. You got to read the book, because it's really, really good if you really get it. And some people don't get it, but you need to kind of get what he was trying to say. Who Moved My Cheese is a story of two mice and some little people, and they're in a maze, and in the maze they're always eating cheese, and the cheese is always at the same place. So they get comfortable and used to eating the cheese. So the difference is the two mice, they're always realizing that one day the cheese may not be there. So that's on their mind. One day they may come out and the cheese is not there. So they're always thinking about what would they do next if the cheese isn't there. The other two, the little people, Hem and Haw, you'll see, there's some really scurry, and Sniff is the mice. They are complacent. They rely upon their intellect and who they are, but they're always complacent. They think the cheese will always be there. They never have to worry, the cheese is always going to be there. So one day the cheese is gone. Okay, and I'll not say the book, but so the thing is, it's about change. Okay, so here's the word, change. And the reason why this word is important right now is because we're in a changing society. We're in a changing economy. We're in a changing industry right now in the hospitality industry. Restaurants have to change. They're being forced to change with these new policies and restrictions and this new social distancing, everything like that. It's kind of like the new norm. And restaurants that understand and know how to adapt and change and are ready for it, they're going to be successful. Okay, the ones that are trying to figure out and still being, no, we're going to get back to normal. Normal's going to come back again, but I'm not going to change. But they're probably not going to make it. So this book is about similar to that situation. So how you personalize that is that you always have to be ready for change. You always know that every environment, every place you're at can change. So it's very, very important that you understand how to adapt to change, because if your company that you work for, your chef, whoever, they're going to do something new and they're going to evolve. Well, there are those people in their team that are not really good for change. It's just wired in them. They're not good to change. And so what they do is they always that. And they're not good at it. They think that they're going to rely upon their skills. Okay, everybody will change. I'm just going to be the way I am because I'm a hard worker. I'm dedicated, but I don't want to change. I am the way I am. There's people who think like that. But those are the ones that have a problem. So you want to be like Sniff and Scurry. They're always looking for the next place where the cheese is, because when the cheese does run out, they're already thinking, they're already ready to go. They're out finding in the maze where the next cheese is going to be, and they're not going to give up. They know that they got to find cheese. So that's what I'm saying. You know where your career path is, where you want to go with it, and you have to understand that there's going to be some changes involved, but know where you want to go, and knowing that things may have to change, and you have to adapt to that change. So it's really important. So here's one page that really kind of stands out. It's really kind of cool. If you don't change, here's this. This is really, really good. If you don't change, you will be extinct. Think about that. People who don't change don't survive. So make sure that you're always open for change and you're always that kind of a person, because good leaders need to know how to change. They need to know how to have a plan B and a plan C in leadership, because they're leading a team. You need to be able to understand, if you're going to be a leader one day, you need to know when change is coming, when it's necessary, and make those changes. But when you do make changes, this is very key. It's a lesson I learned the hard way, and I developed it over time. You cannot move a ship on your own. I can want to change, but unless I have my team, my equals, my colleagues in the university, they call colleagues, you have to be able to get them on board, and everybody has to kind of embrace change and see what you're trying to do and get everybody on board, and then you make the change. But if you're always the one that wants to change and you don't get your team on board, then you're going to always, as a leader, you're going to face this, because nobody supports, you have to get them on board. So it's very, very key in leadership that don't be frustrated because people don't see what you see. Don't be frustrated. Just learn to let go of it and then come back later for it. It's very, very key. I had to learn that. I always wanted to hold on to, hey, we got to do this. This is important. I think the direction is going this way, but nobody saw the vision I saw. And I was looking at them less. And my director came up to me and says, you got great vision, Jay. You got great vision. But the thing is that you need to know when not everybody's on board, just let go of it and come back to it later. Don't hold on to it. Change is inevitable, but don't force change. Get everybody on board. So that's why it's a key word. You have to be able to evolve and navigate through your career and be open to change and be ready for it, and don't just be stuck in the same place. The little people, the mice the people who didn't change, they kept going back to the same spot when the cheese was gone. They were thinking that the cheese was going to appear again. Oh, it's just a joke. The cheese is coming back. It never came back. They were forced to realize that they had to go out. Meanwhile, the other two mice found the cheese and they were happy. So read that book. That's a great book. Here's another good book. Skills. We're going to get about skills. This is a really good small book. It is about leadership. Now, Coach Wooden was one of the best all-time basketball coaches for UCLA. But the thing is that not only was he a good coach, but he was a good leader. And so a lot of companies, a lot of people, athletes, everybody looked to his leadership, but he had certain values of what it meant to be a leader. Now, in this book, it's a pyramid of success, so it's really kind of good. Reading books is very key. There are some spiritual values in here. Cat out of the bag. I'm a Christian, but the thing is that I have my anchor, and we're going to talk about anchors. But that's what I believe in. And this book isn't about you believing in religion. It's about leadership, but there are some key points. A lot of people, this book is very, very popular. A lot of business leaders, a lot of leaders read this book. So it's a good book. And so Oh, so we got good time. So the other thing is that I want to talk about in your kind of your values and everything like that is your skills. Okay, I hope everybody can read that. Your skills are very, very important. Whether you want to put that as your foundation or somewhere up along the line above your foundation, your skills are very, very important, and it goes back to that word respect. If whatever you are, whether you're a pastry chef, baker, line cook, a saucier, garde-manger, or whatever you want to do, you have to be skillful in those things. So you need to master your skills. And if you're a cook wants to be a chef, or even if you're a baker, you really need to have great knife skills. You need to hone in on your knife skills. You need to hone in on your mental skills here. You need to be able to kind of understand just and have the mindset of a chef or a pastry chef or whatever you want to be. You need to have that mindset, and so it takes a lot of skill to do that. A lot of book reading. So I would kind of make sure that your skill sets are very, very good. And and like the thing is, like a good leader also, he doesn't really look down on somebody else's whose skill set maybe isn't as technical and good as theirs, his or hers. A good leader really helps others to be better. A good leader, if you look at basketball or any athletes, there's always one guy on a team that makes everybody a better team. Now, there are certain, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, I think guys like Kobe Bryant made his team better. Michael Jordan made his team better because of his skill set. But sometimes, maybe his approach was not that great. Same with LeBron. Great athletes. But it's the one who can not only be good at what they do, but they're the ones that make everybody better around them. On mentally, physically, everything. They are constantly building up those who's maybe they're trying to, and everybody wants to be better when somebody's really good and they know how to present themselves and know that they're a good leader. So it's very, very important that when you're around your team, you want to make sure that you're not the one that's saying I'm better than them or anything like that. You want to be the kind of person that makes everybody better around you, because that's the kind of team you want. Because remember, in culinary and in restaurants, no matter what, it's always a team effort. Everything is about a team. Back in the days when I was kind of being a chef, it was an I thing. It was all about the chef. The chef was always, you had to be like him. You had to think like him. And if you didn't, you either got a spoon, a pan, or a whisk. Or you got something thrown at you. I mean, we had all these chefs coming all over from Europe, Germany, France, everywhere. And back then there was a bad stigma. All these chefs coming into the U.S. back in the 80s, and talented chefs. But they didn't understand the culture of who we are as Americans. And so they, in Europe, man, these guys, their culinary traditions went way back. Farming, farm to table, that's way back then. Slow food, they were doing that for a long time. We were doing TV dinners, and we were doing, things out of a package and stuff like that. And, So it was kind of like important that, that we kind of understood like what we needed to do. So a lot of the chefs now it's changed. Now chefs, it's all about they're just kind, compassionate. And this is a new thing that you're seeing in this COVID thing and in this year of the chef. I think it's the year of the chef, honestly, because Jose Andres, he made Time Magazine as the person of the year. Why? Because he went from being a chef and using those skills and everything, his passion, and he went back and he's giving back to people, to communities, to societies. He's there for, when things are having, he's all over the place with his World Food Kitchen. So to me, I think a chef, the new chef is becoming a humanitarian. They're caring more about the planet, and we always have. Chefs, we care about the farm, we care about the fish, we care about the boats, we care about the farmers. We care. But chefs are becoming humanitarians now, which is what you're starting to see. Chefs like Dominique Crenn, Eric Ripper, Daniel Blue, they're all becoming humanitarians. They know that they need to change. And so if they want, that they're giving back to the planet. That's what you kind of see is happening right now. So, that's something to kind of just think about, throw in there. So the other thing that's kind of important is, your environment, where you're at, the kind of people you're working with, get to know everybody. Like I say, it goes back with caring, but your biggest thing right now, that I think one of the great skills you need to master, and I tell everybody in my kitchens, and the new, chefs coming out of culinary school, young ones, I always give them this skill that they need to master: listening, the art of listening. You need to be able to listen to your chef. You need to be able to know what your chef just told you. You need to be able to memorize it or write it down or do something, because the last thing a chef really wants to do is to spend time telling you the same thing over and over, or the fact that you didn't hear him right and you did it all wrong because you didn't listen. So not only the skills, like in your culinary skills, but you need to have the skill to listen. And when you do that, you become, and you put that with caring, you begin to listen to the people around you. Don't always be the one talking, but be the one who's listening. Even if it's out of the corner of your ear. It's so and so important that when you're listening to people, it's showing that you care, but you're paying attention is the most thing. And, and if somebody didn't listen, they can come to you and say, hey, what did he just tell us to do? Or, he told us to do this. And so these are all skill traits of leadership, listeners, because when they listen, then they know how to interpret, and then they know how to give instruction because they listened. And they're really paying attention. So there's a lot of chefs in kitchens that I've worked with that they don't pay attention. Even really skilled ones, they don't pay attention. So, and this is just stuff I've learned along the years. So listen to your chefs, respect your chefs. You get to work with your chefs, care about what your chef cares about. Make that your own, because one day you are going to be a chef, and you can't, it's like that whole thing, treat others the way you want yourself treated. So it's very, very important. So the other thing is so we're going to talk, another thing about is mentorship. Remember I told you in the beginning of this conversation, we talked about having a plan, okay, for yourself, where you want to be. And then I said, then go to somebody, your boss or your manager, or your chef, whoever it is, and tell them about your plan and what kind of plan that you can kind of formulate together with you being there. So I think that that's very, very key, because like I said, if you don't have a mentor, and I'll say this, you can have a mentor outside your work, somebody who's just mentoring you in life, you want. But you also need to have a mentor, which I would say the word mentor can also be used as another colleague that you can bounce things off of. But if you're going to have a mentor, your mentor isn't like, if you're a cook, your mentor isn't the dishwasher. Your mentor isn't another cook next to you. You want to go up. You want to seek higher authority of mentorship, because this mentor is not going to be the one that you want to gripe and complain to. You want to be able to discuss maybe how you're feeling, but when you go home to your boyfriends, girlfriends, or your friends, whatever it is, you gripe and complain there. But when you find a good mentor, it's really kind of just to take what's coming out of your heart, talk about situations and concerns, and how can you navigate inside, internally, and externally. So you always want to have somebody in there that you can go to in your work. It's very, very key. Mentorship is very, very key. It's good to have peer-to-peer people conversations, but when you want to grow in your career, you want to find somebody within your work environment. And when I say mentor, I don't mean like, it doesn't have to be your chef. A mentor can be maybe a bar manager, somebody in that place that you can talk to, that you able to freely, you're comfortable with. They have to be comfortable. You have to know that they have an ear for you, that you feel safe, and so it's that's you to figure out. And then when you do find somebody, there's nothing wrong going to them and having that conversation with them. Say, listen, I'd like to know if you would just be like my mentor here, somebody that I can really come to and talk to and help me as I'm navigating my career when things are bothering me. Now, I know that CCAPS has a great mentorship. We're starting a mentorship program, which is really, really good. I mean, it's key to your career path and to your career growth. So I would say that one of the things that you need to do is really establish that, not quick, because you just can't go with somebody, hey, will you be my mentor? It's somebody that, like I said, that you work with, that you can talk to, because when it comes time for your career growth and maybe somebody needs a reference inside, like, hey, how is this person doing? That mentor can be the one that says, you know what? They can talk to the person who's the hiring person or the person who wants to find somebody in a new position. They're your reference point. They're the ones that can say, you know what? They don't divulge personal things, but they really help them to understand, like, this person is really seeking accountability. This person really wants to grow here. And I help them work through this issue. They become so much better. I've seen them grow. So those are kind of important to have. And like I said, you can have a mentor, a life mentor outside of your work. But when you're in a large establishment, I would highly suggest you find a mentor or, we use the word colleague, somebody that you can really just kind of bounce things off of and just sit in their office. Maybe, I don't know, how you want to meet with them is your call, how they want to do it. Maybe they might not have a lot of time, but maybe it's once every 2 weeks, once a month. You decide how you want to do that, but you need that because they're going to help you with your career and help you just kind of figure things out inside. Because if you don't have a place to kind of let that out in a good, healthy, environmental way, because going home and complaining at home about how this person doesn't do anything, they're lazy, blah, 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 that doesn't help your career. That's just whining and complaining. So you want to make sure that when you do talk to them, say, hey, you know what? I really want to be able to kind of help this person. I know that they're struggling, but how do I come about it? How do I show, these are things that you can do in positive ways. So CCAPS is really focused on that right now. It's one of their big things that they're going to develop. I think it'll be a successful thing because it's needed in the industry. Trust me, it's needed in the industry. So those are kind of key things that we've kind of talked about, and hopefully, I don't want to waste my paper. So I did write mentor, and I'm holding onto my phone right now because my gimbal kind of just freaked out on me, and it's kind of doing that. So I'm kind of keeping it straight right now. So anyway, technical difficulties. Hey, how am I doing on this live stream, by the way? This is my first one. For those of you who joined a little bit later, this is my first time ever live stream, so I'm kind of breaking the ice and with you guys. And somebody says I should start a blog or a vlog or whatever. They said I would be good at it, but I don't know. Anyway, so we got about I'd say 10 minutes left, and maybe we'll use up the whole 10 times. But this is the one thing I want to kind of talk about and kind of going up to our closing. Do not seek to lift yourself up. Don't do that. Don't do that in a way, because when you're doing that, it's all about you. God, I'm so sorry. Feels like there's an earthquake going on here. It becomes all about you. Don't seek to lift yourself up. A leader does not do that. At least a good leader doesn't do that. A good leader gets into the position where others lift them up. Meaning, when you are doing all those things that we talked about, understanding your foundation, caring about others, doing all these things, the most important thing, the greatest reference that you have that you're qualified for that leadership role is not because you declared yourself to be the one qualified. You're not lifting yourself up. The one who's qualified is the one where his team picks and decides that person should be their leader because he or she has done everything of the things that we've talked about, if not more. So when your chef is looking to find a sous chef because the sous chef left, most likely the chef will go to his team and talk to them and say, who do you think should be your leader? And if all your team says, oh, Billy, or whatever your name is, should be, or Sarah, she's so good. That is your team lifting you up because they want to follow you. Remember, if nobody's following you, you're not a leader. You're just a soloist. A good leader, an indicator of a strong leader, one of them is that when you look behind you, you got people following you. You got people who will follow you when you ask them to do something, they'd say no problem. When you tell them to jump, they're going to say how high. Not because you're demanding it, it's because they know that you care about them. And they have a respect for you because they know you respect and care for them. And it has always been about them and not about yourself. So some people learn that later in life. Some people learn that at the beginning. Some people learn that in the middle. But it's very, very important that when it comes time for a promotion, it's your team lifts you up. Your team wants to be the one that puts you in that position. That's a sign of a good indicator that you're being a leader. Not because you are seeking leadership, not because you're trying to elevate yourself. It's because you have done all the right things in your foundations and how you've built yourself up to be a leader by making others more important than you, okay? And you cared, you listened, and you respect. You were ready for change. You were the one that motivated everybody for change when your chef needed it. I mean, the chef's always looking for those kind of people. So, and if you want to open up your own restaurant too, I mean, these are the things that you're going to need to have a team. So, one of the big problems in the industry is, well, one of them is that a lot of chefs lose their team because they don't know how to be good leaders. People will go and work for great chefs because they want to make great food. But after a while, if you're not a good leader, everybody's going to want to jump ship on you. They're not going to be loyal to you, which is another key word, loyalty. I forgot that word. Loyalty is everything. You want to be loyal to your chef, loyal to your company, loyal to your team. Loyalty, I didn't write that word down, but it's a big word. Loyalty. Be loyal, okay? Don't be divisive. Don't be sneaky. Don't be a backstabber. Be loyal. Be loyal to your position, loyal to your chef, loyal to your manager, loyal to your peers. Just be loyal and committed to your craft. Be loyal to it. And everything else has to be added onto it. So this is my last thing in closing. I don't know if we're going to go a full hour, but we won't. Like I said, I can talk. But the most important thing too, another thing in closing this is that you need to find, I got to drink some water. You need to find an anchor. You need to find something that it's something that you hold on to. A rock, an anchor, that when everything kind of fails, when things aren't going your way, when you're having a bad month, bad week, or bad year, you have your anchor. You have something that you can hold on to that picks you up, that tells you it's going to be okay, that keeps you still focused on your course, something that really kind of reminds you of who you are, where you want to be. It's so important. Because if you don't have an anchor, when all else fail, you're going to drown. And you won't know how to survive that. Mine happens to be my spirituality and my faith in God. That's my anchor. That's mine. And that happened over a course of time. Yours can be anything. But you have to make sure you have that, because I think it's essential. It's especially in this day and age, right now, in this kind of economy of the state of where we're at in the globe right now, even in our local environment, national. I mean, there are a lot of uncertainties out there. Trust me, it's on everybody's mind. There are uncertainties out there. And so it's important that you do have an anchor, something that just reminds you of who you are, something that you hang on to, like I said, that picks you up, something that you know that you can hold on to keep you from going under. And then you can pull, an anchor, it sits at the bottom, it's there, or a rock. It's something solid, but an anchor, it's always there, it never goes anywhere, you can pull yourself up above water. So you need to have that. And it's drive, there's motivation, there's passion, there's all these things. But to me as a chef and just as a person, as a human, you need to have that. And it could be your kids, it could be your wife, it could be your parents. It's just something that's not going to let you down, your anchor. So, and I don't know what that looks like and what that can be in your life, but find that because it's important, especially in this day and age. And so remember, don't give up, and know what you want to do. Stay the course. Enjoy food. Food is a great. Oh my gosh, food. Somebody told me, when you have a skill or a gift, whatever like that, when you love to do what you do, and you didn't get paid for it, and you would still do it, that's called a gift. Because gift you want to give to people. That's why. So if you feel that you're gifted at culinary, bakery, whatever, that is great. A lot of people are working, but they don't understand what they are meant to do. There's a lot of people I know who work desk jobs who wish they were chefs. Because you get to touch food, you get to interact with people, you get to be involved with community, you get to learn so many things and learn about food. It's very inspirational. It's very medicinal, I think. But yeah, there's a lot of people who wish they had the gift of culinary. And I mean, you got food now being delivered to home, and all you got to do is throw it in a microwave or an oven. People just don't want to cook; they don't have the time. But like I said, it's a great if you love what you do, it's a great gift. Cooking, the industry, I think it's a great way of giving back to people. But you have to get to a place, to where you got to learn a lot, and there's a lot of sacrifice. It's not easy. Being a chef and working in this industry, it's never easy. It's hard work. But it can't just be hard work alone. That's what I'm saying. You got to have a great foundation to keep you going and keep you motivated. So very, 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 very key, those things. And so really kind of like, oh, here's one more book. Okay, here's another thing. This is a cool book. This is a good leadership book. So it's called Leaders Eat Last. That's a great title for a book. And here, Simon Sinek, it's a little bit dated in a sense. He grew up in a different era in culinary, but the message is still the same. And it's really exactly what it is. Eaters eat last. Leaders eat last. Eaters eat last. Stupid. So anyways, so it's really good about teamwork, what it means to be a leader, but the importance of formulating a team. And he goes on just basically talk about why teams are successful and why some teams are not. So it's a great book to get. Leaders Eat Last. Pyramid of Success. Pyramid going up. This one is cool. Who Moved My Cheese? I know so many top business executives that read this book. And this is my third time reading it because it's really good. So I would probably say that that's all I needed to say. So glad that you let me be a part of this whole thing. I'm grateful that you're out there. Keep up the good work. Stay true. Stay committed to what you're doing. Hopefully, you've learned some stuff here. And embrace change. And we'll hopefully see and hear from you later. Hopefully I'll be back another time on a live stream. I don't know, but thank you so much. Really, really appreciate the time that you gave me here. Thanks for listening. Some things are caught rather than taught, so I hope you caught some really good things of what I was saying. And, anyways, I'd like to say ciao for now. Oh, there's my alarm, you see? It's done. Done. Okay. Done. All right. So we'll see you later, everybody. Have a great, what is it today, Monday? Great week, all right? It's super hot here in Arizona, by the way. Anyways, and I'm like in my shorts and bare feet, so good thing for only body shots. Anyway, we'll see you later. All right, bye-bye.